Can I have your attention? These beaches are officially closing for today. That means absolutely no more swimming.
And snappy.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Michael Kachmar. Whoa, what was that? Welcome to Welcome to Lifeguards Off Duty with Dr. Michael Kachmar. Today's date is May the 17th, the year of our Lord, 2023 AD. And thank you for tuning in. And
Your camera's a little off center. Do you think maybe?
Are you good?
Is it off center? You kidding around? Yeah. So anyway, I like my camera set. So anyway, thank you for tuning in today. We have Tyler is here.
Hello,
today.
everybody.
And we have Sean. Let's see if I get the right camera. There's Sean.
What's up?
And here's the crew from the lawn. Sean's not in that view. So
My bad.
So yes, thank you for tuning in. We got a nice show today. We got a few things to talk about, but we got a little housekeeping to get done with. We want to make sure everybody knows about our test Sunday.
Swim test.
Swim test for the Seaside Heights Beach Patrol. It's at 12 to 1. I was told not to 4, but 12 to 1. And it's going to be at the, what's the name of the place?
Tom's River Fitness.
Tom's River Fitness.
Tom's River.
Yeah, tell people.
That's about it. It's a 500-yard swim in under 10 minutes. And then if you can pass that, then we'll invite you to the beach to see if you really have what it takes.
Right. And I think the starting pay is $16 an hour. That's something that's really a good thing. And, yeah, so people don't know.
What did you start at?
We got paid by the day. I want to say we got paid about $16 a day.
So $2 an hour.
Would you get it every day?
What do you mean? No, you get it like every 2 weeks. So we got paid. I remember somewhere along the line I got paid $23 a day. So we got paid by the day,
which
is
interesting. That was like a big pay bump for you.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
I used to make $12 a day.
But I could tell you right now. I'll tell you how that worked out though. You went out. So I'd go out to the bar, to the wine cellar.
I love hearing stories
the
about
the beers were 50 cents for a huge red cup, about like the biggest, the big ones, like 16 ounce.
Like a solo cup.
Solo cups, big.
Now they give you the shots that Billy will give you the mouthwash in when you get your teeth clean.
So this is
That's what they give you $1 beer night.
So here's the thing: you brought if you had $10 with you, right? You don't even need $10. Say $5. How many beers? I wasn't a heavy drinker, so maybe 3. Maybe 4. You have 4 of those big beers. You can milk them. So let's just say 5. Splurge. So that's 1, 2, $2.50. And if you want to buy somebody a drink, maybe it is. Start to talk to a girl. But that was it. And then
let me buy you a drink.
Yeah. Well, we had this thing back in the day. We didn't really buy a lot of people drinks. Because we got to remember too. We just didn't. But then you get a hamburger. A hamburger was maybe.
Well, you were poor because they were only paying you $10 a day.
I mean, you get a hamburger for 50 cents. 75 cents. So
what was a slice of pizza?
About 25 cents, maybe 50 cents. I remember it was 50 cents. So you could get a bunch of beers, and some meat. You could eat something, slice pizza and a hamburger.
I feel like relative to now,
but we got $23 a day. That's half your day's pay.
Even if you oh yeah, that's a good point. But I'm saying, even if you account for inflation, I feel like stuff was still cheaper.
But right now we're in a hyperinflation. You got it really bad. But getting back with the beach patrol, our beach patrol now, $16 an hour is pretty good, and you do have the potential to work maybe over 40 hours a week. But more importantly, you start early. I mean, if you're returning, you start in May and you go all the way until the end of September, so that helps. That's a good thing.
The concession guys on the boardwalk, they used to get paid per the money that they were bringing in,
a percentage,
and then they, like labor laws or anti-gambling laws came in and they disbanded that.
I call them the carnies.
Yeah,
well, I'll tell you what. I'm not here to downplay what anyone does for a living, but some of the guys that do that
are so old.
You're like if I'm a parent, why would I bring my kid up to play the game from the dude that's smoking cigarettes screaming at me?
Come on, kid.
Yeah.
Well,
what a poor business model, honestly.
But he made a good point about the carnies. That was a whole.
They used to make a lot of money back.
Right. So
I did the arcade thing for a little bit. I worked in an arcade when I was 14 or something, And I loved when I would get to do the games on the boardwalk because I wouldn't do anything because I would get paid the same if I was working in the arcade, like fixing the machines or whatever.
They tried getting us to do that barking shit when I was selling lemonade at Six Flags.
Yeah, why?
They wanted us to be like, get your lemonade, get your popcorn, ice cold lemonade. I refused to do that.
Yeah, if there's no incentive, what's the
Well, we were getting paid commission, but
yeah.
yeah,
Well, here's the thing. When I first started working in Seaside,
still not worth it.
talk about that. We'll go off on a little tangent here. So when I first started working in Seaside, I was 15, 16. I didn't drive, and I worked at the rifle range. First, I worked for this couple. They were called Bella and Joe.
You told us this story recently.
Yeah. Well, I don't need to hear it, but anyway. So I worked for them, the rifle range. You probably didn't hear the story, and but then I would also help other people on the boardwalk and run a wheel where you would have to bring people in, talk to them, and they would give you, if you brought in a lot of money, they'd definitely throw you a couple bucks, And then I started working for the Aztec. But the people, Bella and Joe, the point about Kearney people, these were Kearney people. So they were from North Jersey, and they had a whole bunch of stands, games and stuff in Palisades Park, which was a huge, huge amusement park. It's not even there anymore, but that was big, Palisades Park. It was a big, big place. And they came down to Seaside, and they bought up, these places. They actually owned the stands, the property. Imagine that, back in the day. And they would have all these stands. They had the rifle range, they had wheels, and, they used to make pretty good money. It was all cash back in those days,
Were you doing the star game where you had to shoot the star off the card?
No, this was a straight out rifle that shot 22 bullets.
Those are like the little tiny ones?
Yeah, but they can still hurt you. But the thing is, these bullets were made not to ricochet. They would be very soft lead. So when they would hit the targets, which were metal, they would pretty much just shatter.
Isn't that why people had to get their limbs amputated in the Civil War? Because bullets were soft like that? They hit your bone and just explode everywhere?
They would just do a lot of damage. They didn't have the technology to save the limbs. But we had four rifles, 2 and 2, maybe 3 and 3, 6 rifles, and 2 handguns. And they were just chained down with a little chain. So you could take the handguns and turn them right onto the people. And the rifles, I forget how many shots, but you'd have these long sticks, and I think it was a backloading. So the guns, there's still guns like today. You open up the back and you pour the bullets in there. It's like they slide in and they shoot them. And it was all cash. And one thing we learned back in those days is to cover the money and the guns when there's a blackout. In the summertime, back in the days, I'm talking the 70s, and early 80s, and even longer than that, you would have major blackouts there when it was really hot. And so you'd have to, whenever the lights went out, people, they would grab stuff, so you had to just cover the money and cover the guns. But we had a lot of fun there. I did that for a long time, so,
I think the card game that I was talking about is the biggest scam on the boardwalk.
The card
what I'm talking about? It was a red star.
Yeah, you had to shoot it all out.
Yeah. You could never shoot it all out. It was always, even if it was like a tiny little bit of red, you couldn't do it.
Well, all of them are scams. The basketball ones, the hoop is shaped like a flat oval. The ball, there's probably less than half an inch of
I tell you what,
give there. The balloon games, that's a total scam. They don't even have tags for the giant prizes under the balloons.
Yeah. The one that I worked there, and I got really good at some of these games, and so there's the one where you have the bottles, and you have to throw the ring and get it around the bottle, right? And so I actually was taught many years ago how to do that. Is a way you got to twist it, and I actually got really good at it. And I would go there, and 5, 6, 7, 10 throws, I would get it. I would win.
There's a way to win the game where
it's the way you throw
toss the ball into the plastic bin.
Oh, that's another one, as well. Yeah. So
my favorite is the claw machines that'll have a PlayStation 5. And people would just be dumping money into it all night.
Those things could be adjusted.
Those things are
such a scam.
They could adjust those and a lot of things.
They have them rigged to squeeze tight enough every X amount of dollars that goes into the machine.
But let me just finish this thing about working. Back in the day, a lot of places paid per day. And the reason why is you didn't have to worry about overtime. Because overtime was around for a long time. Whether or not it was a law, but it was a known entity. You pay overtime. So the way to get around that is you have a salary, which is basically paid by the day. I'm surprised they don't do that now because the issue now with New Jersey is you got to pay overtime over 40 hours, and a lot of towns are agonizing over that. I don't know why they just don't pay the lifeguards a salary. Give them a couple, whatever, $200 a day, and then if they work in 10 hours,
I'd work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Yeah, what?
No. That's probably about what we make now, isn't it?
7 days a week?
Make it 400. I'll work 7 days a week.
No, they wouldn't pay you. They could pay you salary that, or they pay you per day. But anyway, it's interesting because that's a lot of beach patrols are trying to figure out what to do about that. But there's still beach patrols that are paying $14 an hour for a senior guard. I don't know how they even get people. I think there's some beaches that the people who work there don't really care. I mean, they're alumni. The money's not an object. They just want to be there. And so they'll take whatever it is, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
I do think you're right, Tower. Like, even though we're getting minimum wages higher, it still feels like everything's so much more expensive, at least than even like a couple years ago. I mean, gas is now $4, and we forgot that we would love it when it was under $2.
Well, just in terms of beers, I remember at Hooks within the past 2 years they would have $2 cans of PBR. You can't find a $2 beer anywhere on the Jersey Shore anymore.
Yeah, a $2 can. No.
$2 12-ounce beer.
No shot.
Yeah, 12 ounces every time. No.
Right.
It's
tough, and diesel fuel, everything's brought in by truck. What I could tell you from my perspective in all the years I've been around, you increase fuel prices, everything else falls and goes up the same way. This summer's going to be rough.
Well, how long do you think because this is all obviously in response to the previous 2 years of pandemic. How long do you think that this type of stuff is going to go on for?
Well, right now, the biggest thing one of the things that's going to happen is if the Congress and the Congress and the Senate are going to try to tamp down this spending. You go back in history. You don't have to be an economist. The more money the government spends, the more inflation goes up. It's easy. It's happened during the Reagan years. It happened, it goes on and on and on. So what they need to do is they got to put a cap on it. This country's spending like drunken sailors, and you could argue who did it and who didn't do it. Bottom line is we got to balance the budget, and that's it. And that's the first. The other thing is we need to be energy efficient. I'll give you a good example where you talk about money. We want to build all these windmills out here in the ocean. All right, sounds great. It's renewable energy, okay? But if you and I go out there and build them and say we're a private entity and we sold the electricity, we wouldn't make a dime. And the reason why is because it's so labor intense. The machinery is so expensive. The maintenance is so expensive. The only way to make it fly is you need to be subsidized by the government. Same thing with a lot of electrical cars. Same thing with a lot of solar panels. So I could definitely make a lot of money if I could open up a coal plant or a natural gas plant, because I could make energy and sell it at a decent price where you're not, where you could afford it on a $60,000 salary, and I can make a profit and you could do well. So what's happening now?
But that just real quick, an aside here. That's the argument about why clean energy mandates are the worst thing for developing countries, because they can't afford to set up all the solar panels and the wind farms.
They're worse for everybody.
To catch up is
use
fossil fuels.
But that's fine, and we should use fossil fuels. The bottom line is, if you're asking me why you have inflation, why things are going up, is because our government has to spend so much money to subsidize this stuff. And I understand they're worried about the end of the world and temperatures rising. That's an important thing. But understand, you asked the question. So it has a lot to do with energy, and it has a lot to do with spending money.
No, and the flip side of it is that they're saying that we're not spending money, but we don't have money to spend on,
so they're blaming us.
Yeah. So, but then the banks then want you to take out more loans and credit, and then when you don't own anything and you like it, it's it is.
Well, that's the new thing. You're gonna not own anything. Everything's to be rented. You got to go back in history. This is the thing that you guys.
Everything is rented.
But
name the last time you bought a movie. Like bought
I
actually
buy
own-
everything. I buy everything. But
No,
listen,
you do not.
listen. You got to
got- you
When's the
understand.
last
You
time
got
you watched a
Netflix.
movie that you bought, that you have a hard copy of, or even a
Yeah.
digital copy
There's
of that you own?
listen, there's things that you should rent out. It's stupid not to rent it out, but not your whole life. Let me just go back and say this. You know, when you talk about history and talk about money, World War II, right? When we entered World War II, right? What did Franklin Delano Roosevelt and everybody tried to sell to get money? It was war bonds. Now just think about it. Why does the government have to sell war bonds?
Victory bonds.
Yeah, but why they needed money?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is that the idea is the government doesn't make money. They can print it, but that's not good. You can't print money, and money comes from people. The people. You do goods and services, and that the money chases a good and service. Mm-hmm. So that's an important thing. Now the government needs it. They get taxes. In fact, they're getting a lot of money now in taxes. I heard we're pretty much all-time high, which is an interesting thing. But if you start printing money with nothing to back it, just printing it, and you don't, and you're gonna the money that you have, then it gets watered down, so it's less valuable. That's called inflation. I know it's not that hard a concept to understand. The same thing with the open border. All these people who come in this country, if they come in here, they're really not, they're residents, they're not citizen. It waters down your citizenship, what that means and what your rights are. So it's all. So we do have a situation right now where what'll help is if they stop spending the money. And there's a big debate going on right now. You hear it on the radio on TV about the debt ceiling. So and that needs to be. They need to stop it. So and ask you, everything's crazy. I went out the other night and got a hamburger. I was with Ava in Virginia.
How much?
They were about $20 for a hamburger. $17 to $20. That was at the Committed Pig, which the food was great and everything, but that's all over. So I mean, you go out.
Yeah, I went to the Shake Shack. It was like $30 for
just
a chicken sandwich and fries.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, that's.
So how much you have to make?
I hope we can still get dollar pizzas on the boardwalk this year.
The thing is, you can't continue like this. And you want to be a slave? You don't want to be a slave. I try to, but listen to this. You guys don't understand. Like when I was your age, back in that day, you could get a job, and if you worked hard, you can make so much money. There was so much opportunity. I had the bank would lend money out, even if you didn't have collateral. If you had I had a degree, I had my medical license. I think my first loan was $100,000 to open up my practice. I had no collateral other than me. Now that was they had what was it called, the Small Business Loan Association. They started doing that again with one of the things that Trump had. They started having these small business loans. And they did also have it for the black community and all of that. That's what cracks me up about they bust Trump's balls. But there was a lot of great policies. So anyway, so hopefully things will come around. But save your money.
I've been.
So what are we going to talk about? Lifeguard stuff. We have anything we want to talk about today?
Sean,
what was your
huh?
What did you want to talk about? Go ahead.
Have you guys always had that deal with Spicy's where they kind of like hook us up with pizza?
Yeah, they always gave us a break. I know the owner.
Did you ever have anyone like almost screwed up for you guys?
Yeah. Well,
all the time.
First of all, so let me make a point. I'm gonna throw.
Some kid rolling up like off duty, yo, where's my dollar slice?
No, I'm very sure. But here's the thing. One thing about Spicy's on the boardwalk in Seaside Heights is a great place. It's clean, good food, and I know the owner very well. And what he does is,
by the way, this is not a paid ad for Spicy's.
No.
I think they have a second store in Point Pleasant.
Yeah, and they take care of the lifeguards, and that's nice. And I think they take care of everybody else too. Other the beach control and other workers. And they're just good people like that. They help out and they give you I don't know, what do we get, a 10%, 5%, I don't know, whatever it is.
Pretty good.
But yeah, there's always people. There's always clowns who are going to try to mess things up and ask for more, and try to create a scene, and that's just human nature.
For us, the best is the guys that get crazy with it, trying to get like 2 pieces of chicken, avocado, like just,
and then are like $12. What are you talking about?
Like they actually have to pay for what they want.
Like, dude, you just ordered $40 worth of food.
Of like legit food instead of just day old pizza.
Where I've heard the issues is where at night when you guys are not working, and the lifeguards go in there and they think they're going to get all kinds of breaks. And they're in their civilian clothes.
hear
And
You know what? You know what I'm realizing right now is there's many things that make the Seaside Heights Beach Patrol unique. There aren't that many beach patrols that like live off of boardwalk food like we do.
No, I
You
tried
know?
to.
Yeah,
I tried to
even
put a
like
stop to
Atlantic
it.
City, like what kind of like
They probably
BS?
got someone giving them a deal too.
Yeah.
Point
well,
Pleasant.
no,
does.
other
But
beaches.
Seaside Park, Lavalette, Island Beach, they're all like packing their lunch.
No, but you know what?
And we're just living off of pizza
But you know what? A lot of happens.
and
A lot
French
of.
fries.
But you know what happens? A lot of those other beaches, because there's families. They'll
Yeah.
bring food up. And back in the day when I first started working Seaside, when there was a turnover, when there was families would come for a whole week and then they would leave, you would have tons of people bringing food to you. Or they'd be on the beach, they'd pack the lunch, they had their bungalow, and they come to the beach, and if they had leftovers, or they'd even pack something for you, because it's every day, and they got to know you, and they would make the greatest sandwiches and stuff like that. So that was good. But
I've actually never been offered more than a water.
no, because we're in a different. Everybody in our beach are day trippers. You're not going to really get that.
No, I sit on the local side. I see these people every single day.
Well, that's a good point. But to answer your question about, I remember all the years. I used to bring lunch because back in the day when I first started, we didn't have a lot of money and it was cheaper. I'd get a whole bunch of lunch meat and everything. But a lot of lifeguards, their parents, to pack a lunch, but they would still, after they're done, go get a slice of pizza. That was like dessert. There's nothing like a slice of pizza. It's hard to.
What's your guys' go-to lunch on the stand?
Like if I didn't bring food from the boardwalk,
Pizza. It's always pizza.
We'll
Pizza.
do both.
Buff chick slice.
If you're making it yourself, what's it gonna be? And if you're going to the boardwalk,
if I'm making it, probably just rice and chicken. But if I'm on the boardwalk, buff chick, all the way.
loaded with the ranch.
Yeah, blue cheese.
We would.
I feel like for me, it would be just mostly like snacks for throughout the day. I love sunflower seeds up there
Oh,
to
yeah.
like keep me occupied. But if I'm buying lunch, it depends. If I'm on the south end, I'll probably go to Spicy's and I'll either get buff chick with hella ranch or just like one of those huge foam containers just full of French fries, or I'll go to Taco Tastic and get some chicken tacos.
So you're lucky.
That's if I'm on the north
You're
end.
lucky you had that stuff. We
We
have.
have options, yeah.
So we had one place. It was called Sodals. Sodals. Now, Sodals was right where.
Catch, these viewers are getting a good look at me tonight.
Yeah, Sodals was right near Spicy's, a little bit closer. It's a candy shop now, and it was owned by this guy. Actually, he comes in my office. He's still around. He's a patient, and he had it was one of the only air conditioned places on the boardwalk, and the food was just great. That place was immaculately clean, and they gave us a break. But we lived on coffee because we were usually hungover. So, we get 2 cups of coffee in the beginning, and we would drink coffee all day long. Back in those days, we used to we weren't allowed to leave the stand.
They didn't have iced coffee when you were around.
No,
too.
no,
So
but
like,
we
hot coffee and 90
Yeah,
degrees.
yeah. We would get people, mostly, call girls over, and they would go get us coffee. We'd pay them. We'd give them the money, say, can you go get me a cup of coffee? Because we weren't allowed to get off the stand at all. And pizza, pizza. You couldn't beat that. There used to be also, and one of the things in Seaside Heights, they used to have a lot of clam chowder. Clams, no.
In the summer,
No, listen, yeah, they would have clams, and they would steam them. Steamed clams were a big thing, or pissy clams.
yeah.
And-
What's that place called? Seafood.
No, they
Park
were all over the
Seafood?
place. Every place, restaurants would have pissy clams or regular clams steamed. Oh, we didn't close that door. Can you close that
Yeah, they
door?
got the
That's why.
AC cooking.
That's why it doesn't sound so good in here. We've got to close the door. And what happens is that when they make this clam, steamed clams, they would what do you call it? Have juice, and you could buy the juice in a hot cup. Like on a cold day, you get the clam juice. So that was one thing. They
Just like sip on it?
yeah, it was very
Can
very
you-
That
tasty.
sounds
Disgusting.
so repulsive.
Can you
That-
imagine him on the stand with like one hot coffee, another hot clam juice in the other hand?
Oh my
That's what he's-
god!
I tell you what, we
Is
lived
that
on.
what you're implying?
Yeah.
That you're
I tell
sitting
you
on the
what,
lifeguard
I
stand?
tell-
It's 1982.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
a cup of hot coffee,
Well, it was
just
cold day.
black
Well, it was cold day. yeah.
coffee that's probably been sitting on the counter
No. We used to
at Hoddles.
No.
Sodals?
No, it wasn't.
And then you have the warm clam juice.
Every day I would take a break around 3:00, right? Because I would say, hey, I call up my guy. I got to take a pee break, and I go to another place. It was called the Whistle Stop. They had just the hottest looking girls there, and I would have them cook me up a fresh pot of coffee, and I'd wait there for it, and then I would take that back. So that was good. And
but again, clam juice.
No, that was only when it was cold. But the other thing is we had
to the clam.
we did.
Was there clam in it, or was it just water flavored like clam?
It's the water that you have when you steam the clams.
They had this place called Santeria up on the boardwalk.
Which was fire when it was a thing.
See, not the biggest fan because I got something to eat there, and the rice that they had was like cooked in like shrimp water, and again, so repulsive. I'm not a huge fan of seafood.
No. But the other thing that we had was Coors. So for people who don't know, Coors is it's still
Light?
around. Coors ice cream. Coors.
Cash, are you a Bud Light, Miller
No, but
Lite,
hang
or
on. Don't
Coors
go
Light
there.
fan?
Don't go yet. But Coors though. Listen to me. Coors, not the beer, but they have on the boardwalk the ice cream that had all these girls that worked there, and so they would come and hang out on the beach. Because we kind of like a lot closer to the workers back then. And they would come up and bring us ice cream and all kinds of stuff. So when they would get a break, and they would come and talk to us. We all knew them. They would come to our lifeguard parties and everything. So the girls would come down and they would bring just tons of friggin' ice cream.
You know what
So that was good. So we ice cream, pizza, and coffee.
And clam juice. Don't
And
forget
clam
clam
juice.
juice.
And occasional clam juice and
four staples
and
of
what we
lifeguarding
drank.
in
What
the
we
80s.
drank, we drank kegs and kegs and kegs
Of hot clam
Miller
juice.
Lite. Of Miller Lite. Because you know why? It was about $12 a keg. It was the cheapest stuff we could buy. We had no money back then, and I'm telling you, we would back in those days when we had a lifeguard party, we would drink about 2 kegs of beer.
Look at as he checks his watch.
No, somebody's calling me. We would try to knock off 2 kegs. Well, we got the one, but we never got the second
But back
one.
then, also, everyone drank from the keg. Because now, like, girls are picky, and you have to get them bottles or White Claws or Twisted Tea.
They need their Gold Slick vodka.
Yeah.
First of all, remember, drinking age back in then was 18.
Yeah.
So, and I would never encourage underage drinking, but I'm very sure there was a lot of people that were under 18, But
And everyone was drinking from Bud Light, though. From the,
we never had Bud Light. No, Miller Light.
He's going to define that.
No Bud Light. No Bud. No, Bud Light wasn't. It was too expensive.
No,
actually.
I know. But everyone drank from the keg is what I was trying to say.
Yes. No. Yeah. Nobody. No. Listen. If you walked, if I back in those days, if I had a bottle of wine, somebody hit you over the head with it. No, we know, and we drank beer.
Same, except now it's a box of wine.
Nobody maybe the girls drank. Well, I'm trying to remember now. No, it was just beer. We were beer drinkers. We were cavemen. We drank beer, ate hamburgers and pizza, and that was it.
And drank clam juice.
Hot clam juice.
Yeah, we're never gonna forget.
But back in the day when I was young, Budweiser was the only beer around. Or Tuborg. It was Pabst Blue Ribbon. We drank Budweiser.
PBR.
I'm a big fan of Anheuser-Busch products.
We just drank Budweiser.
No, I'm serious, because you know why? For the past few years, I've been on this like endless quest, right, to find like this perfect IPA. Every bar I go to, I'm like, what are the IPAs? Me and my girlfriend went to the Catskills. Every bar, I'm like, spending 10 minutes at the grocery store picking my beer out, and then half the time I go to drink it and it's just bitter and disgusting.
I'm not a fan of IPAs. I like every now and again one won't bother me, but generally they're just sour and blah.
Yeah, so that's about where I'm at right now. It's like I have my 5 IPAs that I'm a fan of. I'm gonna sit in that pocket, and then it's just Bud Light and Budweiser the rest of the way.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we drank anything we got our hands on, and we drank the cheapest stuff because we couldn't afford anything.
Like hot clam juice.
And but this thing with all this commercial, the boycotting the different beers and everything, it's kind of funny. We got a bunch of, Anheuser-Busch, the company. How many beers they probably have about 10 beer products.
So many.
They got. All right,
Like
let's
what-
see how
like
many
if you
we
had
can
a-
name.
if you had a,
they have the
pull it up,
King.
pull
They
it
got-
up,
they
pull it
got-
up,
well,
pull it
no,
up.
We're gonna play the game
guess, and then we'll
first.
pull it up. Yeah.
The King.
So that's 1 is Budweiser, 2 is Bud Light, I think Busch Light
Busch Light and then Busch.
and Busch. What else? They have Bud Light Seltzer.
Well, didn't they
Bud Light
buy?
Seltzer.
Did they own Coors? Did they don't own Coors? Like what? I mean,
No,
didn't
Coors
they buy?
is by itself, and
Okay.
then Miller's by itself too. Those are the
Miller-
three big ones.
Oh, okay. I thought they bought them over. I thought they merged or whatever.
The annoying part of the Miller thing that we could look. I'll look up the Bud Light stuff now.
Look
But
at-
the
look who
Miller
you-
thing is that
What happened with that now? I missed that.
it's 2 months. It's a 2-month old commercial that people are just now complaining about.
And what does it say? What's it? Can you pull it up, Tyler?
It's nothing. It's just like a women empowerment. Was 2 months
It's
ago.
it's basically all right. So the gist
Oh,
of
they're
the
burning.
ad,
They're burning. Oh,
the
that's
gist
right.
of
Right.
the
Right.
ad
Right.
is
Yeah.
like, hey, we're Miller Lite, and we're recognizing that we've spent the last several decades, you know, what is the word I'm looking for?
The word you're thinking about is probably not utilizing, but
Exactly. Yeah. Why am I spacing on that
Oh,
word?
Michelob's and Anheuser.
Michelob. But basically, we've spent the past
No,
several
let me-
decades like using women's bodies as a selling point for
right.
you know, drunk men, and now we're walking that back in like a cool, edgy kind of way. 'Cause we're burning all the
So like
posters.
what they do.
I mean, I don't have a
Well,
problem
let me
with
ask you
it.
this. Let me say. So they're utilizing sex as a selling
They
tool.
used to. is what
See,
they're
here's the
saying.
thing: men are very visual with sex. You know, men like a woman. You're not gonna, not too many women like Playboy, Playgirl.
No. Girls like smut.
You're
No, but
Seriously,
girls,
girls,
no.
yeah.
Yo,
But generally
my
speaking,
aunt
no.
reads smut, and I was like,
No.
I'm always like, hey, are you reading your slut
No, but
books?
It's just straight up Playboy for girls.
No, but here's the thing though. You're going against the grain here because right now you still got cheerleaders on the side of football games and basketball games. And
Their
they're women.
outfits are significantly different than
Right,
back
but there's
in the
still,
day.
It's the same thing.
there's still
But-
women jumping around.
It's
I
the
mean,
same thing.
right?
Okay, I'm trying to.
No, but the thing is, you're trying to what people are trying to go against, and I know what you're saying. They're exploiting women.
That's exploiting.
Okay.
Why could I not think of
Yeah,
that word?
because we think too hard. If you got to let it flow, you got to let it go. You can't. That's the thing
All
about
right,
it.
we're just here trying to make good television.
So here's my thing. You talk about women and exploitation. Men
The
like
exploration
listen,
of women.
Men Playboy. Men like to look visual. Men look at women and they get excited. Women, I don't know. I can't because but I understand. I've been told that they're more touchy feely, and the visual is not as much. But sex sells. And who drinks most beer? I don't know how many. I don't know. There's a lot of women drink. You just said women are
So,
more.
all right, here's a
So if you
question
want
for
to
you.
sell beer, and if your demographics is men, what's the carrot you're going to in front of men? Guns, women. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so sex. So
A
sex
motorboat.
sells.
Motorcycles.
Sex sells.
Cranes. Trucks.
So what if? And you're okay with that?
What do you mean I'm okay?
You're
It's
okay
the
with
reality.
that.
It's I'm not a.
But you're
it's
a
the
religious,
reality.
you're a religious man, right?
Yeah, but it's reality though. That's what I'm not.
Okay,
What
but
I'm
do you
okay
feel
with.
that? Do you feel that goes against your moral code in some way or another?
I don't know how would
Now
it go.
take
if
out
you
the
wanna
girl
get there,
with the
it's
big
coveting.
boobies.
Listen,
and put in a drag queen.
Listen.
Same exact commercial. Except it's a drag queen shaking her ass. Is
Maybe
that cool?
Maybe I like drag. When you say drag queen now, what, is like,
Like
a guy
a-
dressed up as a girl?
Yeah, or
I don't know,
a
kinda-
trans girl.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, fair enough.
I
don't
would say
give a
that that's
shit.
not,
Fair enough.
That's
I
not
don't- I mean,
exactly
to me-
selling to the demographic. But if you
No.
wanted a cool marketing thing,
But see, I don't give a
the
shit.
remember the cool Old Spice ads where it was
The Centaur
the
one?
dude shouting at the commercial with like how cool I am. That was a male product marketed to women because women buy.
Like buy this for your man.
Yeah, because
so
women
he smells good.
usually buy the shampoo in the house and all that. So they knew that guys weren't buying Old Spice. They knew women were buying Old Spice. So that whole like, hey, look at me, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. That is a
I'll
commercial
tell
for
you what,
women.
effective for multiple reasons. One, because like it also that ad campaign also like caught males' attention.
Oh, yeah.
as well. But from what I remember when I was a kid, like Old Spice was like that brand that like your grandfather wore.
It wasn't cool until the commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I just want to
And
show
I
you
like
something.
Old Spice now.
Catch more beer than ale. Look. Right here.
What
There
the
you
hell
go.
does that have to do
How
with
about that
Old
one?
Spice?
What
There
is
you go.
What's
Good
your
beer.
cancel commercial look
Catch
like?
more beer and ale. Good beer.
Yeah, well, all right. Let's screenwrite your commercial
how about
right
this?
now.
How about this? How about maybe Bud Light and Miller Light knew that this was going to do this, and they did it purposely
I
because
don't
you know
know.
what?
Bud Light's
Bud
Bud Light,
Light, it really backfired on
Yeah,
them.
but that's right now, and then maybe it's going to come back. Who knows? I don't know. To me, it's no big. It's. I understand. The bottom line is it good beer? Does it taste good? Does people like it? I don't know.
I think Bud Light. I've always called it the most fun beer. If Bud Light's at a party, I know it's going to be a good time.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Really?
Bud Light's the most fun.
My dad called it piss water.
Yeah, it just doesn't taste good.
Yeah. As far as the exploitation of women, well, get rid of the friggin' girls on the side of the basketball, cheerleaders, Miss America, the little girls when they have these, beauty pageants. But a lot of people are into that stuff. So, yeah. And as far as drag queens go, listen, 20 years ago, I was down in Miami, and I was at one of the bars, and they had drag queens singing and stuff. And they came down, one girl, guy, whatever, sitting next to me, talking to me.
What's weird is Florida.
Nobody ever said, nobody had controversy about it. It was kind of fun. I don't know if those guys were gay, trans, whatever. They were guys who dressed up and they sang and they put on a good show. And they came down. They were beautiful looking, and they were into it.
And
now,
Florida
they're
now,
probably gay.
politically, is that stuff's probably like the least accepted now in Florida.
Well, I think what happened is they don't want to have. What I understand, again, take a read the emotion. They don't want you shaking your ding-a-ling in front of a 5-year-old kid.
Okay, but the 5-year-old kid is watching the Super Bowl with the cheerleaders shaking their ding-a-lings.
Yeah. But again, I think there is across the line when it comes to children. I think all this. Same thing with gender dysphoria. No, 18 and over, go whatever you want to cut your. Do it, but it's the kids. So this is where the argument is: the kids and the children. We do have limits, and children could be scarred. We know that. That's why we don't. We used to say, "Listen, you can't." Well, a pedophile. While we lock up a pedophile, or somebody has sex, like a school teacher who's 25 years old has sex with a 15-year-old, they lock them up. Why? Because they feel that child now has been injured. So now, if you don't believe that, that's fine. But like in New Jersey, you got consensual sex with a 16-year-old. They want to put it to 13. So, the whole thing is, this is where people get arguments. Now, as far as this, with the Bud Light thing and that guy, I think it was probably a dumb move, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. I could care less. But I could tell you right now, drag queen and has been going on for a long time. Strip clubs, all of that.
I think a cool thing with the Bud Light is that just another people empowerment thing. It's similar to the GameStop situation of just these companies they don't just market to us. They have to hear the answer that they're getting from it. So Bud Light made a miss, and they'll recover.
Well,
they'll
also,
recover.
I'll say this about that whole situation:
right.
Anyone who's standing in their backyard with an assault rifle shooting 30 racks of beer, thinking you're making some type of epic political or social statement,
they kind of are. There's
they
thousands
are.
of people doing it.
They did.
Well,
Oh, you talking about Kid Rock? Yeah, he did.
Those videos are. You can't deny those videos are going viral.
Yeah, but it's not that they're making some sort of profound statement.
Yeah,
what
they
are you
are.
saying by doing that? That you're
if people
intolerant?
that like Kid Rock or all that stuff see other people doing it, they won't do it too. Just to follow.
Yeah, but that doesn't make
What's
it
your point?
meaningful. In the sense that you're changing people's mind in a good way. You're just
I think you just admitted
spreading ignorance.
that it did.
I don't know.
I said in a good way.
No, that's it. Listen, that's free speech. He's making a political point. I saw also videos of transgender people with racking up an AR-15 saying, we're going to come for you. It's all bullshit. Listen, you got to, there's perception and reality. Perception and reality, but it's political speech. Here's the thing in this country, which makes this country so great, is that we have free speech. You could have people say all kinds of things. And look at this thing now with the Durham report. They basically said this Russian collusion was bullshit. But the people who were able to say it, now I don't know if they're going to go to jail now. So we have free speech, and Kid Rock's going to shoot up the cans. That's an expression. That's a free speech. Miller Lite has the guy, what's his name, Mulvaney. That's free speech, and that's commercial. I don't know whether or not it's going to be good and long, but you have to be careful when you criticize. It's good that everybody criticizes, they blow steam off. Another thing too, if people get really upset, and a guy you make a good point, like Kid Rock, he shoots the cans. That sends off a lot of steam. A lot of people who are pissed, they and then they don't, they're not going to carry out and do something crazy. So I think that's a good point that you made, Sean.
Do you want to know
Kid Rock is controlled opposition?
Yeah, well,
maybe if I was
Miller Bud Light now, I'd go to Chris Rock and say, listen, man, I'll give you a truckload of.
They
Chris Rock or Kid Rock?
They
Kid Rock,
basically
you're right.
did that. Did you see like the horse commercial? Like there's like a super pro America commercial they came out with.
Yeah,
What's the name of that song you love by him?
I think it's called We the People. No,
We the People.
No. What's the Let's Go? It's called Let's Go, Brandon. I think.
No, I think it's called We the People.
Okay.
Now that you say it.
Have you heard that song by Kid Rock? It's so
Oh
funny.
yeah,
We're not gonna play that here.
No. Some of his stuff is his stuff is good. I like him, but some of it's very a lot of
I'm gonna read
curse
the
words.
Anheuser-Busch products because I've been staring at
Yeah,
them.
let's hear.
There's 3 that I just straight up won't stop buying.
What's that?
Well, the first it goes Budweiser, Bud Light, Kona, which like we love Kona.
Total lifeguard beer right there.
Oh yeah, Michelob Ultra. I don't know, Stella Artois or Stella
Artois.
Artois.
That's what, right? That's
not
how
a bad
said.
beer.
I think we just make that up though. But
That's not a bad beer.
no, it's a good
to
beer.
sound fancy.
Yeah. Estrella, which I've heard of but never seen. Bush.
All right, we got that one.
Natural Light. Landshark, which again won't stop buying. I don't know what Presidente beer is.
That's down the island beer. That's a lot.
Ho Garden. Never heard of that one.
I don't
and then
know.
Shock Top, which I also think is a good beer.
Yeah.
And they have other craft partners, which are pretty common.
Well,
Blue Point.
I think the way to look at this is it's the limelight right now. It's going to die out, and are people going to stop buying Bud Light forever? Whatever? No, that's not going to. They'll forget about it. 2 months from now. I think it was.
I bought a few this weekend.
Yeah, it was probably a dumb move. What they did, and so people make the point, they back off, but it's nothing. People do dumb things. Companies do dumb things. They try to get a commercial going, try to make a point, and it backfires, and they regroup. To me, it's not that big of a deal. But you asked me about the drag stuff and all of that. I keep on saying that's been around for millennia, and I've been to many shows.
Cher had a great career. I'm kidding.
Who?
Cher?
Oh, Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wait.
Cher is not a tranny.
No.
She's actually a great artist.
She actually, when they had Sonny and Cher show, I was a young kid. I always had a crush on her. I thought she was so beautiful.
Cher, I've never seen her young.
Oh yeah,
she was pretty. She was
go look
pretty.
at
Very pretty, yeah.
she's hot. Go look at the Sonny and Cher show. And when she used to sing, she had an angel voice. She's a great actress too.
Let me pull her up so you can.
She did some great movies. There was one. She did 2 great movies. One was called The Mask. Her son in the movie was born with a face that was really bad. But I don't like her politics. She's like super to the left, But look at that.
Oh, she's pretty.
Yeah, I think that no, I don't. She's like she's a typical Hollywood liberal, but she's beautiful and her voice.
Is
man.
she Greek? She looks like Mediterranean.
She had like a deep voice, like a deep, rich.
Yeah, I know. I thought she was partially Indian. I think she's Cherokee Indian or something.
Something actually about that big nose is why people can sing so well.
I think she had it operated on, didn't she?
She might have, but like Lady Gaga and Barbara Streisand won't fix their noses because it does help with their singing voice.
What's her background? They say
Lady
Gaga,
Irish,
English,
Dutch, French, English.
She's
German.
She just looks very.
I thought there was some Indian. I thought
features.
she has some Indian in her. Okay, not.
She is pretty.
Her voice. So the Sonny and Cher show, that was unbelievable. She'd come out with the most beautiful outfits, and she would sing like and I would just, as a young kid, and then
Sonny
she
died, right?
Yeah,
Sonny Bono.
Yeah, he hit a tree. He was skiing, stoned out of his mind, hit a tree. You probably never know what hit him.
Hey, he's a handsome mofo too, huh?
I like those bangs.
Yo, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this beard tan line on this one on the right here.
Yeah. That's the day. So he was the one who managed her. He's the one who found her. What's the 2 movies? See what the movies she did.
Cher movies.
2 She did one that the 2 was unbelievable, and that's interesting because you take a singer to cross over.
Mamma Mia, Cher.
Oh yeah.
She's a Mamma Mia.
Yes, she is. She plays the
Burlesque.
Wait. Did she play?
I don't know.
No, I thought it was.
I've seen Burlesque. I've never seen Mamma Mia.
Yeah, but where she must have been.
Moonstruck, Mask.
Moonstruck was unbelievable. Mask was unbelievable.
Mermaids, The Witches of Eastwick.
That's a real sexy movie. The Witches, because they all bang everybody. But I tell you what, no, The Mask is unbelievable. And what was the other one?
The Witches of Eastwick.
No. The
Moonstruck.
Mamma Mia. No, not
Suspect.
Moonstruck. There's some good movies, man.
Wait, I want to read.
She
All right, The Witches of Eastwick, 1987. Three small town friends, Alexandra, Jane, and Suki, each having lost the man in their lives, are feeling unfulfilled until a furtive stranger, Daryl Van Horn, played by Jack Nicholson, arrives and begins courting each of them in turn. Eventually, Daryl tells them that they are witches, but as the three friends spend more time at his mansion enjoying themselves and learning about their powers, they begin to worry about Daryl's ultimate intentions.
Yeah, it's definitely a wild movie, but she's good.
Academy Award nomination for Best Music.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, she's an unbelievable singer. What brought us to this?
And it won the Academy. Oh, no, these are just nominations.
What brought us to this point?
I made a share joke.
Who knows?
Oh, you made a share joke. Oh, yeah, because you called her a transie. Why? You think she looks? Why? You think she looks manly?
In old age, she does.
Yeah, I think that's because of the plastic surgery. They, got a little, like tell you this. You talk about plastic surgery. You know the guy who I, really reeled against. And that's Michael Jackson. That poor guy. When he died, his nose was fake. He had so much surgery done.
His nose could cut a stick.
No, it came off. When he died of an overdose.
He had one of those magnet ones, like the World
War. They butchered him up.
World War One.
Yeah.
Vets that would have the masks they put on their face.
The other guy who had really a lot of surgery and didn't look too good was he was a boxer. He's a famous actor. It'll come to me just like we draw it. There's been a lot of actors.
Muhammad Ali.
No. He did one called. He did a movie and it was
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke, yeah. They messed him up.
Oh yeah.
He got.
Isn't
hammered.
he he's an Iron Man?
But I think what happened with him is he was a boxer too, and he got really banged around. See, that's bad. Look at that.
That looks like CGI.
Yeah. Now that guy right there.
First of all,
yeah.
Who's this guy's stylist?
Go look at him when he was young. Go look at him when he was young. Show a young picture. First of all, he's an unbelievable actor, and he's got some good.
You ever see The Wrestler?
Man.
I don't
know.
Oh my God, he's unrecognizable.
Look at that. He was a stud back in the day.
He looks like in this photo on the right here. It looks like Val Kilmer.
Yeah. You get him. He did a movie. It was called Angel Heart. Angel Heart. It's a brutal movie.
How do we always end up towards the end of the show getting movie suggestions from Kashmar?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Does this have to be a segment of the show?
They also stopped after 1985. There's no new ones.
No, I got new ones, but I want you to watch I keep on telling you. I want you to watch the one Young Savages.
No, you know what? We still have to watch is that James Bond shit.
Yeah, that one I want to watch.
Which one?
The parody one.
Oh yeah, where it's yeah.
Woody Harrelson as James Bond.
Yes,
this other guy also as James Bond.
And the music is great. That's just a dysfunctional movie. You probably have to have a couple drinks or be high to watch that. So,
like Sonny when he was skiing down the mountain.
Yeah, he hit a tree and got killed. That was his deal.
What was he on?
He was on a lot of medication, I think chronically taken. What I remember, don't hold me on, but I think he was on a lot, like Percocet, stuff like that. I don't know. You could look it up. Put down, see what he died from.
There was no evidence of drug or alcohol use when he died.
No,
that's literally just a rumor.
Just slandering this poor bastard.
That's not what I heard.
Slandering this poor bastard.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't. I know he hit a tree when he was skiing and he got killed. You see a lot of that. When I was doing my training in Philadelphia, they'd bring in some people who were injured in a skiing accident, and they stabilized them. They brought them to the hospital, and they were pretty in bad shape.
Shit can be scary if you don't know what you're doing up there.
You hit a tree going fast, especially if you spread your leg, you could auto amputate your leg, So.
Well, I remember when I was in third grade. They used to have people with inspirational stories come in and talk to the class, and this guy came in a wheelchair, and he was telling us about how he lost his ability to walk in a skiing accident, and he wasn't even going fast, and he hit one of the poles where the snowblower is with all the padding around it, and it's still just.
We had the one guy he hit, and he split his legs open, and he's. Cut himself right through the middle.
Did he?
Yeah, everything. His anus.
Did he make it?
Yeah, he was in the hospital, but I don't mean he was looking at a lot of surgery. I mean, it's you got to be careful. It's a lot of power. Somebody else who died. She got hit. It was skiing.
The girl who was married to the Coldplay guy. The Goop girl.
Yeah, and she got a concussion. One of the kids in high school.
What's
The
her
Goop
name?
girl. The girl. She
has a
also
candle
plays
that
Iron Man.
She has a candle that smells like her vagina.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, no, she didn't die.
She didn't. She got a concussion or something.
No, but there was another one. There's a famous actor. He did all these. He's the hard guy, and Roberts is his wife's name. She died. She had a concussion, but
Roberts, Julia.
No, it wasn't Julia Roberts.
Did you see?
Look at the guy who did Wanted or
Wanted.
He's a famous actor. He's an English actor. I can't think of his name. But in high school, when I was in school, one of my buddies, they went on a skiing trip, and he hit his head. And he came back. They came back on the bus because they went up North Jersey somewhere. And he went to sleep, and he never woke up because he had a concussion and his brain swelled, and he stopped breathing. That was probably our senior year, high school. So you gotta be careful about skiing. So
And also while you're swimming in the ocean.
Sharks.
Because
So
we're
listen, what are we going to talk
lifeguards.
about? So we got let's how much more time we got? So I want to talk about.
The Pacific garbage patch
All right.
has gotten so out of control that it is now supporting its own ecosystem.
Good.
Eh.
What's
So here's the issue.
good? I'm glad.
So you have like
Kind of.
we go live out there. What kind of
you
garbage
have
is
all
out there?
you have all kind of crabs and bacteria
There you
and
go.
little fish, like treating it
go.
almost as some sort
Good.
of like mobile reef.
Good.
But,
Good.
well, here's the issue though. As they clean the patch up with all these new scooping and netting systems, they're also affecting all the life that has taken root within the patch, and then all the life that kind of little ecosystem supports. Like all the sea turtles that swing by to get a snack, and all the birds that land on it to get a snack. It's
you're absolutely
so
right.
complicated.
Right,
and
right.
this goes back to like we talked about this in one of the first shows we did, was like how far the disbursement of microplastics likely has gone to the point where
We're going to turn into plastic.
Well, we're never going to get them out because they start in the ocean, then they end up in a river where they're getting tumbled over rocks, and the next thing you know, they're microscopic and they're in the bloodstream of the fish we're eating.
Yeah. Well, it's an arbit.
There's no more escaping it. It's already gone too far.
Here's the thing. You talk about climate change, which is one entity that mankind has got to deal with. But then you have pollution. And pollution is another. And when you say climate change, but pollution, like you said, the oceans, the plastics, the chemicals. Right now, the water you drink, there's so much chemicals in our system. The beef we eat, the chicken, they give them different kind of drugs. So we're loaded with all kinds of stuff. So and what if it's given? I have this theory, and I can't prove it, but human beings will adapt. If you get this stuff gradually over time, we'll probably adapt to it. But you talk about climate change, and I understand where it came from or didn't come from. But I could tell you right now, when did we do the yard here, Sean? You and I, we worked
like a week ago.
It was like Saturday. So this is Wednesday. So not even.
It's gonna be 40 degrees tomorrow.
It was 90.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Right. It
It's
was
supposed to be- I'll
90.
check right now.
We worked Saturday out doing mulch here. It was 95 degrees in the first week of May. Right now, you got a heat wave in Seattle, up in the northwest, which is unheard of. I mean, it's hot. There's definitely climate change now.
I heard it's hailing in Italy.
Yeah, so no doubt about it. And I don't know, how what that's gonna do, whether or not it's gonna, kill us all. I mean, you're gonna have these warm summers, whether or not we're hitting a tipping point and what we could do. I could tell you right now, we could have as much reduction in the United States, but if China and India,
Africa
don't back off, in South America for that matter, so I don't know what's going to happen there. As far as the pollution goes, I could see the stocks of the fish in the ocean. A lot of it's depleted, and I watch these sailing channels, and people go all around the world and they do videos. There's like mom and pop videos, but they show the environment, and the environment's definitely changing. The coral reefs are being just burnt up to shit. is not, I mean, I go down, I've been in Tortola for 20 years, 25 years. The reefs, when I go there, last time I was there, I mean, most of the places, they're terrible. The reefs are shot, and it's a lot. And what a lot of it is, it's non-specific, non-point pollution, just stuff running off. So I don't know what the answer is. How do you fix all of that? One person says get rid of most of the human beings. And then you start getting into
The
these
Thanos method.
Then you get into this what's the word? Conspiracy theories.
Depopulation.
Right. What about that one movie where it was just
The guy had the metal glove and
no, he
snapped
puts the thing in your brain, and everybody's heads blows up.
This guy says we go off on tangent.
I know.
But you're talking about
the miracle of life taking place on the Pacific garbage patch, and he says that Bill Gates is trying to kill everybody with vaccines.
Yeah, the thing is, what are you going to do about that? I mean, the plastics are an interesting thing. Plastics been around since World War II, even earlier, and they're all over the place. I don't know what the answer is. That's a tough one, and whether or not we'll evolve into it. I think that we have a lot of pollution and we waste a lot of stuff. So I was working with the resident, and we had these bandages on his patient, and they were fresh bandages. We were doing a dressing change every day, and he takes the scissors and he cuts them up. I'm like, what are you doing? I said, let's take it off and rewrap it. It's clean. You could use it again, but we throw so much away, and we waste so much. It's crazy. So and that's. Everybody's a consumer like that,
But that's a part of the game of capitalism.
I was just about to say that.
Yes, it is. It is part of capitalism, but you could be smart. Like instead of having plastic bottles.
No, Cash. Like pure capitalism, you can't be. You have to be as efficient as possible.
Yeah, but there's also
there's also
you can't be. But I know where you're going. But let's tell you what.
And I'm right. But
but why would you
pure capitalist?
But then you would always do something for a profit. How about buying a painting and spend more money than it's worth just for the aspect of beauty? Or
that's actually money laundering.
No. Not everybody does everything for money. But I understand where you're coming from. Capitalism is not a bad thing, but it also there has to be some limits. That's what it's never
a good evil.
Yeah, a good evil, and like I would love to see why we don't go into back to bottles. Yeah, one of the things what's bad is in the United States here we have everything relatively cheap because we got stuff done in China, slave labor. That's slave labor, man. Those people were making $2 an hour, and they're making all the shit that we get here. So that's not right either.
All of this technology,
but that's capitalism. So capitalism could be good or bad, but then again. It's funny because we call it capitalism, but in China it's communism.
Well, I mean, they're not a communist country, really.
Oh, really? What are they then?
They're capitalism driven through the government. It's like its own thing at this point.
That sounds like a dictatorship of sorts.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But they're an economy fueled through the government.
Here's the thing: don't use the word communism and with capitalism. Two different things. So you're saying that they are a capitalist country.
Capitalism.
China is capitalist.
Yeah, not.
No. The people living in there aren't free. What's that thing you like to say?
Sovereign.
Yeah, they're not sovereign. No.
The government of China is capitalist.
Here's the thing: the government is, but that's the problem. When you talk about capitalism, from the standpoint of the way we look at it, is that the people own the manner of production.
That's a republic.
Means.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in China, the government owns the production. So when you say capitalism, it's not a free market. The government runs it. Say the United States, until recently, individuals own the production, the factories, the mills, the energy. So that's where it's different. And so confusing the two. But having said that. Part of our problem is we go for the cheapest thing, but there also has to be constraints, and we're trying to do that. And I think that I remember when we had the gas crunch not too long, maybe a couple of years ago, and these people, one of my patients, they were Russian patients, they were from Russia, and we were talking about gas, and she goes, I remember she's a very wealthy woman, she goes, I came to this country so I can enjoy myself. I'm not going to splurge on gas. She had a big Escalade, and she's yeah, think about it. There's people in this country who want to get rid of trucks because they're too big. They're gas guzzlers.
I'll take your truck.
Yeah. So anyway, what do we? Can we? Anything? So is there anything we want to talk about lifeguarding at all?
We didn't have. We had stuff, but we
ditched it.
yeah we kept going.
So listen,
Which isn't a bad thing. We had a good show.
All right, so let's just talk about, we got coming up, we'll have a show before this, but we have our lifeguard test, which is this Sunday. What's Sunday's date? Anybody know?
21st.
21st at 12 o'clock at
high
Tom's
noon.
At high noon at Tom's River Fitness Club in Tom's River. Is there still Kmart there? What's
It's
it
like
near?
a home decor
Home
store
decor.
or something.
It's a 500
Decor and more, I believe.
and it's a 500-yard swim. That's which 20 laps, and $16 an hour starting at Seaside Heights Beach Patrol. And then we got Memorial Weekend, so we're opening up Friday.
Also, as part of the test, you have to swim Catchmar back across the pool from the deep end.
Yeah. But so we're going to start working Friday, this next week. So we open up Friday. That's what I was told.
It's go time.
Sounds like a plan.
So and then are you guys working Memorial Weekend?
We haven't been told yet or asked.
I don't know how the weather's going
I'll
to
be
but
there.
yeah, we'll. I think the water's. What's
Rain
the
or
temperature?
shine, on the clock or not.
What's the
I'm gonna be
temperature of the
there.
water, Sean? Do you know?
It was 40 last time I was in, like high 40s.
When was that?
Like a month ago.
It might be in the 50s. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Did
I
you
ran.
cold plunge or do you have a wetsuit on?
I had a wetsuit on. I should have brought more.
I did the boardwalk this morning, but I didn't see the water. I don't see anybody. The other day I saw some people in the water, but they were only up to their knees, so they could have been in.
Could have been warm then.
Yeah, it's getting there. So all right, anything else? That was a good show.
Go Miami Heat.
Our shirts. If anybody wants to hear about it, we're gonna have the shirts. I will probably get them done Friday.
Is that? Am I holding you to that?
No,
I can go pick them up, Cash.
no, they got to be. I got to bring the stickers over there, and he's got to press them all.
Where are the stickers?
At my house in Brielle. But I got to bring them to Ronnie.
I
But Ronnie's got to
we
cook
were
them.
pressing these ourselves.
Nah, Ronnie said he'd do it. Let him do it the first time. We're gonna experiment where they put them and everything, what colors, and then maybe I'll go there Friday, and I could before he gets too busy.
All right, here's the deal. If you have made it this far into the show, email us.
Ooh, email us
with the promo code.
No, email us with 17th of May. You have to do it before Friday, 17th of May, the day of the Lord, day of our Lord.
What's that? Say it again. Say it again.
The year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord, 17th, May 17th, the year of our Lord.
So we want we want an email that says May 17th, the year of our Lord, by Friday.
By Friday.
If you do that, we'll give you a free shirt.
Before Friday. That means Thursday night latest.
All right. Well,
Thursday night at high midnight.
Okay.
Which would be Friday morning.
All right. Sounds good.
So the promo code is
May 17th, year of our Lord.
Okay. Or any variation of that.
Yeah, we're not picky.
All right. Sounds good. Anything else we want us to talk about? Let me put some. We don't have
stay
any.
high, stay dry, stay out, and stay alive.
No other announcements we have? We
no,
good?
DM us, email us,
Sean,
like,
go
subscribe,
Miami.
Go Heat. AI is taking over everyone's jobs.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Quantum computing.